This video is sponsored by Clean My Mac. Stick around till the end of this video to find out more. Sony finally released its next generation over-the-ear headphones with the new WH1000XM6s, and for the sake of everyone's sanity, I'm just going to refer to them as the XM6, but I've been testing these headphones out for a bit, going back and forth between these and of course the AirPods Max, and I wanted to give you my full comparison between these two. So by now you all know that I really do love the AirPods Max. I think these are some of the best sounding headphones in its class, but there are a few things that I absolutely do not like. So let's talk about what the XM6s do better, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on which one I think you should pick up. Now, it's low-hanging fruit at this point because most companies have a better carrying case for their headphones. I mean, we're still rocking the bra here in 2025, but I think Sony might have the best carrying case out of every single company out there right now. This new case is pretty small, all things considered, but perhaps one of the neatest changes, and it's so simple. There's no zipper. It's this little flap here. It's magnetic, you close it up, and it's closed, and nothing's fallen out. It's so easy to open up the case, take things in and out. I also like that there's a little pouch here, by the way, to keep your cables. The XM6s can also fold again. This was something that was once here in previous generations, then it was removed, and now it's back. So everyone can rejoice. Sony's listening to past criticism of its headphones, and this also helps keep that minimal footprint, which is why it's able to be more compact, which is always nice. Now, one of the biggest differences between these and AirPods Max is that these are incredible in the battery life department. The XM6s are rated for 30 hours with ANC, 40 hours without, and I found that to be very accurate. I flew to San Francisco this past week, used them on a plane the entire time. It's about a 5.5-hour flight for me, and it barely made a dent in the battery. I used it for the time that I was there, pretty much all the time, still haven't charged them, then used them on the way back, and I still have like half battery life. It's insane. These things last forever. My AirPods Max are pretty good, but it's usually rated around the 20 hours, and I kind of get mostly like 18-ish. Clearly, battery goes to Sony. If you want something that can last you a ton, it's going to be these. Now, you can charge both headphones via USB-C, but only the AirPods Max can be used as a wired connection through USB-C. You can do a wired connection if you're craving cables using a 3.5mm audio jack. When it comes to sound quality out of the box, for me personally, I prefer the AirPods Max. I think they are nearly perfect. They have kind of a more neutral tone, but I still love to control the EQ and fine-tune some things if I can. And I can't do that on the AirPods Max, but I can on the Sony XM6s through the Sound Connect app. These headphones also sound great out of the box, but I think they need more work EQ-wise than the AirPods Max. I think they're just a little bit too low and mid-heavy for my liking, so it does require a lot of tweaking for me. I love that I can do this, and so while there is a little bit of work involved, and while I do think both headphones sound great out of the box, you get more flexibility with these, which is a win. But if you just want something plug and play, AirPods Max to me sound better out of the box. Transparency is also great on both. Personally, I think Apple usually wins this all the time. I actually think these are on par with each other. They're pretty much the same. ANC, I feel the same way. They're both really good. I couldn't really give a winner one way or the other, honestly. I thought the AirPods Max did a better job with like plane noise, and this was more so like coffee shop when I was working and it was really loud, a lot of people. This did a better job, but honestly, I feel like they're pretty even. If you check out the Sound Guys video, they did more science involved in it. And apparently the AirPods Max can reduce slightly more decibel levels than Sony. But again, for me, it was really close, so I'm just gonna call it even. Now, in the Sound Connect app with the Sonys, there are some other modes that you can toggle between, but they're kind of weird. I think the cinema mode, it's not good in my opinion. I think just watching it normally on the normal audio setting is much better. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of cinema mode, and I think AirPods Max kind of knocked that whole thing out of the park when watching content. I watched a lot of content over the last few days with these headphones, and I just preferred the AirPods Max. Now there's a background noise mode for the XM6s, and that's kind of cool because what it does is it just kind of like puts the sound above you in like a tin can so that it sounds like you're listening to music, but you can definitely be more aware, especially if you put transparency on, definitely more aware of what's going on around you. So if you just kind of want background music, well, it does what it intends. Navigating the controls is all swipe based here, which is fine. You can do it on either cup. Swipe left and right to skip tracks, go forward, backward, all that, up and down for volume. Tap to pause, you get the idea. There are also really only two buttons here. You get a power button and the noise cancellation or transparency button here. You can toggle between that if you need to. There are some customization options that you can do in the app, but AirPods Max, really, you just have the crown and the button. No power button, so dock that. That's why you have to use the case. Absolutely hate that. Love that this has a power button. I think I still like the look and feel of the AirPods Max headphones more, personally. The aluminum, the premium materials are really nice, but the weight is still pretty tough to deal with, especially for long periods of use. The XM6s, they're not made up of all those super premium materials. It's not bad by any means. It's not cheap feeling, but it's definitely lighter, and that does help. So it's comfortable for more periods of time, but the cups are a little bit smaller, and there's, a piece here that I think is for sensing the noise cancellation and all that. It's hard, and if your ears protrude in and touch it, that could be uncomfortable for you. For me, it doesn't do that. I just don't like how it's not like super large compared to the AirPods Max, where the cups are a lot bigger. So it's weird. It's like AirPods Max are more comfortable right away, but then the weight gets to you on the sides. Again, you're gonna need to try it out for yourself and see which one you prefer. Okay, so the worst thing about the new XM6s, honestly, is that the price jumped up again. So 2 generations ago, the XM4s, which is the ones that I used a lot, I used the XM5s a little bit, but not as much as I used the XM4s. Those were great. $349 for that. Then the XM5s were $400. Now these are $449. The AirPods Max have still and always been priced at $549, so you're still $100 cheaper, but you should be able to find both of them on sale. And so my thing is, these are obviously just the all-around best headphones to get, in my opinion, especially if you're not tied to the Apple ecosystem. By all means, pick these up, and if they're the cheaper headphones, definitely go with the XM6s. But if the price is close, and you are heavily involved in the Apple ecosystem, you have a ton of Apple products, I'd personally go for the AirPods Max. Due to the sheer convenience in the ecosystem integration, I think that really kind of helps pick up the rest of the flaws. I found the multiple connected devices was a bit of a pain with the Sony headphones. So I had my headphones connected to the plain infotainment and my iPad at the same time. When I switched back to my iPad and paused my headphones for a minute, maybe I needed to listen to something or go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, they seem to have immediately paired back to the plain, but not really, because like no audio was coming from it if I tried to play something. And it still said it was connected to my iPad, but the moment I pushed play, it would play for like a split second and then pause, and it kept doing that. So I had to keep like unpairing from the infotainment system and then fully repair back to the iPad, and that fixed the issue. But that was really annoying. That's probably just a really niche case there, but like, I don't love the switching between devices when it's not all integrated into one like you get with the AirPods Max. Sometimes I don't even like that because it switches a little bit too quickly. It jumps the gun, but it is a really convenient thing to have. So would love to hear from you overall in the comments down below what you think. Again, my overall pick is definitely the XM6s, but there are some caveats. It's not always black and white, but would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Now, before we end today's video, I do want to send things over to Dan wearing a completely different shirt to tell you more about today's sponsor, Clean My Mac. Chances are you've probably heard of or even used Clean My Mac in years past. I mean, the app has been around since 2008, and being a user since nearly that long, it has come such a long way since then, becoming the ultimate solution for Mac control and care. Which is why you should definitely check out the brand new Clean My Mac, because it's not only incredible at cleaning all of the junk and getting rid of the fluff off of your machine, but it keeps your Mac running as new. Smart Care will give you a nice, thorough scan of your Mac so that you can take complete control over what gets cleaned and how it will perform. But there are so many other features, like the obvious cleanup feature, which everyone wants. You can clear cache, development junk, and unnecessary files that can eat up so much space. And you also have grade A protection with Moonlock anti-malware engine, which will scan for viruses and malware and safely remove any threats on your Mac, as well as a section dedicated to performance, correctly uninstalling applications, and tackling potential clutter on your Mac like your downloads folder or even duplicated files. So keep your Mac tidy with Clean My Mac and try a free 7-day trial by using our code MacRumors20 for 20% off. And you can find all of that info and a link to Clean My Mac in the description down below. Thanks Clean My Mac for sponsoring this video. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.